Testing, testing, testing. Hello, guys. My name is Rohan, and today we are going to be talking about alcohol. How alcohol make you drunk? Today we're going to be talking about how alcohol makes you drunk. Like, how does it happen? So, in order to know how alcohol makes you drunk, we first have to know what this guy is: ethanol, aka alcohol. They're basically the same thing, okay? So, ethanol, okay, is the active ingredient in most beverages, for example, beer, okay? And due to its simplicity, okay, which helps it sneak across membranes and allows it to nestle into nodes, making even more effect than its more lumpier cousins, okay? But how does ethanol actually make you drunk, okay? How does that happen? So, in order to understand that, we have to go through the digestive system and go through the digestive tract. So, when the alcohol goes to your stomach, right, and then it eventually goes into your small intestine, in between it, there's this thing called the pyloric sphincter, which is basically the gate that connects both the small intestine and the stomach together. And it closes after big meals and stuff like that. So, how much alcohol you intake can be one fourth depending on if you had a big meal or not, if you drink with that or not, something like that. So that can also happen. But eventually, once the alcohol gets into your small intestine and gets absorbed into your bloodstream, it circulates throughout the body, and it circulates to areas and organs, important organs that, what you say, that need blood most. For example, the liver and the brain. So once the alcohol reaches to the liver, what it does is that this molecule called ADH, okay, basically transforms the alcohol into a toxic chemical. But then another a molecule called ALDH turns that toxic chemical into non-toxic acetate. Okay? But how much alcohol that gets to your brain depends on how much the first run took to your brain, okay? Since most of the alcohol, what's left of the alcohol, eventually gets to your brain, and this is what causes drunkenness, okay? So our brain is responsible, well, for you being drunk. How, though, is that you see what alcohol does is that it increases the primary brake for the brain called GABA. So it increases GABA and glutamate, which is the primary gas, and decreases that, okay? And because of doing that, okay, that basically means that low doses of alcohol can make you relax, okay? Medium doses can make you fall asleep, and toxic doses can impede your survival skills, okay? That's how dangerous alcohol could be, okay? Now, another thing alcohol does is that it also stimulates a small group of neurons near the area of the brain that is there for motivation. And since it stimulates those neurons, they gives a squirt of dopamine, which is the feel good chemical, okay? And the alcohol takes some of those molecules and transforms them, right? Which and those transformed molecules, or okay, those neurons, they basically release something called endorphins, which basically help your brain to relax. Okay, this causes the relaxed sensation when you're drunk. Okay, now eventually the liver will outpace the brain and remove all the alcohol, causing drunkenness to fade away. Now, some things to note that are different with other people is that women get more drunk easily because they have less blood since they have more fat. It's something like that, okay? So that's one thing. And another thing is that the genetic difference in livers alcohol process enzymes and stuff like that influence the BAC, okay, which basically equals to that regular drinking, okay, not like too much regular, but just sometimes can increase the tolerance for to kick out alcohol, okay. But let's say you drink excessively, like too much alcohol every day for a long time, it can start to cause liver damage, which does the opposite of tolerance, okay? Makes it more weak. And the genetic difference in dopamine, GABA, and endorphins, and all this stuff can equal to alcohol use disorder, okay? Which means you start drinking too much, right? And eventually, since you drink too much, your brain can't handle it, and it starts coping with all of this and adds some changes and stuff like that, to the point that basically people who drink alcohol regularly feel nervous, afraid, twitchy, just depressed, stuff like that, up to the point that when drinking just makes you feel regular yourself, okay? Not drinking makes you feel bad, hence causing a vicious cycle. Okay? That's basically how alcohol makes you drunk. And that's basically it. Thank you for watching this video and hope to see you next time. Bye bye!